Hey everybody, it's John Rempe, Lux Row Distillers. And, just taking a little walk around the distillery here today. We had several questions from our friends over in the UK. Just asked me some questions about the distillery and what we do here, so I'm going to try to answer those real quick. We'll walk up here to rickhouse number 1, because our first question is going to be about barrels. And that question comes from Barbara Canada and Jessica Orofino with the Hakkasan Group in Mayfair. So let's walk in here and talk about barrels real quick. So if you want to know a little bit about barrel construction and using different types of wood, first off, this is what we call our wall of barrels. This is what all of our guests get to see on the tour. This is in our rickhouse number 1. But back to the barrel. So types of wood in bourbon making have to be charred oak containers, but most 99% of all bourbon barrels are American white oak. And we use that white oak for several reasons. One, it's well, where we are right here, we've got standing white oak forest all over. Most of our wood actually comes from Missouri and Kentucky. Also, just the taste coming from that white oak is it's really what lends that to that signature bourbon flavor. You got really nice lactones in it, developing nice coconut aromas and flavors coming out of it. You got good lignin, developing good vanillin. You got great caramel development. You get a good, just slight, oak flavor coming from that barrel. So that really is why right there. But also there's another thing in barrels, in these white oak in the wood, called tyloses, that really keep that barrel liquid tight, so you don't have leakers. And that kind of leads into your second question, talking about evaporation and what do we do to control it. Evaporation, I mean, really, that's just something that we got to live with. It's just going to happen. We lose about 4.5% a year, but we do try to control a little bit. We've got temperature, thermometers and barometers located at various levels in our rickhouses here, and we can control airflow, which is really going to contribute mostly to your evaporation, and just how air flows through these ricks. We will open and close windows as necessary. I always instruct my barrel crews, when to open and close windows. So, really, we kind of, like I said, evaporation is going to happen, but we lose about 4.5% a year, and that's basically, that's the angel share. That's just what's given up. But really, what we are, kind of more concerned about, other than evaporation, is leakers. And our crews, our barrel crews here, in addition to filling barrels and putting them up in the ricks all day long and moving them around, they're also expert coopers. So whenever they do inspections all the time, walking around looking at barrels, and when they do find a leaker, they will be able to fix it. So. All right, this next question comes from Georgia Billing from the City of London Distillery, and she had several questions about our laboratory over here and when it is in operation over here, and what do we do and what kind of instruments are we using. We actually are running this laboratory whenever this distillery is running. So if we're making whiskey, we got somebody in the lab here working and running all of our analysis, making sure that our products are conforming to our standards. And actually right now, This is Addison right here. He actually is a student at the University of Louisville. He's a chemical engineering major, and we partner with the University of Louisville on doing some co-ops for them. So he has taken a semester off of school and is working here full time, and that's basically his schooling for this semester. But let's talk about just a couple of the instruments that we have going on here. Right now, he was just doing some titrations. Just checking the acidity levels of some of the fermenters there. Move over, we've got a moisture meter for measuring the moisture on our incoming grain, making sure it's the water content isn't too high when we're developing any kind of a spoilage or mold problems down the road. We do have our gas chromatograph for testing our distillate, and right there in the corner we also have our HPLC that we will use to test our fermenters. We can really test them to determine we're getting proper starch conversion to sugar, see if we're maybe developing any kind of organic acid production like lactic acid or acetic acid, which would indicate some kind of spoilage bacteria problem, but fortunately we don't have to deal with that. Then we've just got our simple density meters, small little distillation apparatus right there for checking some other things. But yeah, that's our laboratory. All right, this next question is from my buddy Tom Solberg. He wanted to know if being shut down now with everything that's going on in the world with the pandemic is maybe a kind of a blessing in disguise. And I don't know if I would use that phrase, but we have been able to keep running while this has all been going on. Fortunately, we don't have our visitor center open. We're not doing any kind of tours, no tastings or no retail or anything like that, but there's the peacocks. That's our resident peacocks here. But one thing that this has really given us the opportunity to do is renovate the old house. And it's kind of hidden behind that tree. Move along. But this old house is from, well, it was built in 1806 by actually a Revolutionary War officer that when he retired, he moved to Kentucky and he built this house. And the former owners of the property actually lived in it up until we bought it. But you can see that the little addition here that was built in 1991, I think. But this main two-story part is from 1806. And I'm gonna walk around to the front here and see if we can get into the front of the house. But as you can see, we've got a fairly large property here, 90 acres, and I'm very fortunate to be able to actually live right here on the property. So let's walk around the front here, and I'm going to show you what we've been doing. Since we don't have any visitors running around, we could afford to have some construction trucks and ladders and stuff all out, but we've got new windows put in here, new door, and we'll walk up here and we'll take a look, because this is going to be our new VIP barrel pick room in this place, and of course it's locked. We'll walk over here to the actual tasting room that we're still under construction here. We still got a little bit of mess going on, but this is where we're going to do all of our barrel pick tastings. So this is actually going to be really, really awesome when this is all done, and when people can finally come back out and visit us, because we miss everybody. All right, so Andrew Liberati of the Goring Hotel, head bartender there, he asked if we or if I put any kind of signature in the process when I'm making the whiskey here. And right now, no. I mean, going forward, when I start trying some new things, being a little more innovative, creating some new whiskeys, maybe some new limited releases or special releases, I may put some kind of a special little twist on something, and that might become my signature. Other than that, really, I think my blood oath, I mean, my might be able to say the way I blend the whiskeys in that one, where I always take 3 Kentucky straight bourbon whiskeys, and then I finish just one of them, and then I blend that in at a slow rate. I don't think much or many other people do that to try to get that flavor, that profile from that finished barrel into the final blend at just the right amount, so it's not over. The character is not too pronounced, and it takes away from the actual profile of the bourbon. But so that's kind of something that I do for that too. But other than that, something here in the process will have to wait a little bit. All right, this next question is from Andrea Gianori from Milroy's of Spitalfields. She's asking about fermentation times and if I experiment with that at all. Hope you guys can hear me. So show up here in the fermenter right now. But we do not really do any experimentations right now with fermentation times because we want our mash bills to stay consistent with what we have been doing with our source whiskey for the last 30, 40 years. But going forward, I will obviously, I love being innovative and doing new things, and it's kind of killing me to have to do the same thing over and over and over every day for the last 2 years. But I'm going to be getting into more innovation, and that is going to be one of the things where I'm going to start making some special batches that I'm going to either raise or lower those fermentation temperatures, which in turn decrease or increase those fermentation times. And yes, that has a large effect on the final profile of the whiskey. Depending on how fast and how hot or how cold you're fermenting, you're definitely going to be producing some different compounds in that fermenter. But right now, we are set, and what we're doing right now, it's right at a 4-day fermentation, and that's for both of our mash bills.